Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. So I've got the brand new Magpie Slices to show you today. So we've got 5 different pots here with some different shapes and images and things like that. So these are great for sort of encapsulating in sort of a builder gel or an acrylic. You could probably do it with Give Me Strength as well, but I haven't tried it. But I'm going to show you today using the new Magpie Build Me Up. And I'm going to do an inspiration for my own set, but I'm just going to do one demo for you today, but I'm going to show you all of the contents of the 5 different sort of packs. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. Okay, so first up we've got Tropical. So, and as the name suggests, we've got loads of different tropical images in there. So we've got flamingos, palm trees, cactuses, you know, pineapples, and there's some hearts and stuff in there as well. So these will be great for people going on holiday. Then next up I've got Princess, which I've actually already used on a client, which was the beginning photo. So we've got some crowns and diamonds, diamond rings, we've got some flowers, some stars also in there, which are really pretty. Then next up we've got Ocean, which is obviously full of sort of sea creatures and a bit of a nautical theme. So we've got some anchors and starfish and sea turtles, some seashells as well, jellyfish. Again, these would be great for somebody going on holiday. Then next up we've got Geo, which is sort of some different shapes. So, and I think these would be great for sort of like nail jewellery. So putting a bit of glitter, especially like this one looks like a proper frame. So you could put a bit of glitter like in the middle of the shapes and it would look really cool. Oh, I've just got one there on my nail. So, and these are really nice and thin as well. I don't know if you guys can see how thin it actually is. So really easy to encapsulate with. And then finally we've got Galaxy. So this is what I'm going to be using for my demo from sort of inspiration from my own set. I didn't use these for my own set. I did my nails before Magpie launched these. I really wish I'd waited though. I really wish I was able to use these for my set, but I'd already done mine. So, but this pack's got moons and loads of different shaped stars in it. Obviously we've got the rockets and the planets and everything. There's also some snowflakes in there which are pretty cute. So I'm going to do the demo now, and like I said, I'm going to use the Magpie Build Me Up, and I'm just going to show you exactly sort of how I did mine. So for my own set, I actually used the gold star shapes from Magpie and the Gabby stars, but I only used the gold ones from Gabby, and then I also used the gold small hexagons from Gabby hexagon shapes. Because the Galaxy Slices have got loads of different star shapes in them, I'm actually not going to use these. I mean, you can see what they look like on my nails though. They're really super pretty, but I just want to use the slices and the hexagon pieces for this demo. Okay, so I've got my nail pop here. I've just buffed this mat just to make sure that any product that I put on top doesn't move about. I know I don't normally do that, but obviously with using a build gel, I just want to 100% make sure that it's not sliding about. So just like you would with your natural nail, you do your dry prep and obviously buff the nail and then wipe with the Prep and Dehydrate from Magpie. So, and this would happen to the nail as well, it would go matte. So I'm going to use Build Me Up in Buff. And And I'm just going to apply a nice thin layer to the nail. It needs to be quite nice and thin. This is kind of your adhesive layer. And cap your free edge and cure it for 60 seconds in the lamp. So then once that's been fully cured, I'm going to go in with a second layer of buff. So you want to be doing this layer a little bit thicker because we want to build up the coverage underneath. But we're not building an apex or anything, it's just we want to build up the colour with buff. And I'm going to cure that for 60 seconds in my lamp. So then once that's been cured, I actually did another sort of thin layer of buff just to make sure that the coverage of colour was really sort of there, because I used clear tips for mine. So I really wanted to make sure that it was a proper nude coverage. So it's up to you whether you want to then stick the slices and the shapes into this wet layer. I actually cured mine and then I moved on to do clear. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Obviously the 3 layers of buff that I did were quite thin, but as well minor extensions, so I needed to kind of build it up anyway. I hope that all makes sense for you guys. So yeah, I'm going to cure this now in my lamp for 60 seconds. So then next I'll be using Build Me Up in clear, and I'll also be using the Magpie dotting tool, the smaller end, to pick my slices and my hexagon pieces up. Okay, so the first layer of clear, again, just really nice and thin. This is literally just kind of an adhesive layer almost, you know, this is just what the slices and stuff are going to go into to make them stick to the nail. So you really don't need to do this too thick, and we still haven't built up an apex. Obviously this nail popper's got a natural apex, but we haven't done that yet. So then just with the small end of the dotting tool, I'm just going to dip it into a bit of the gel and then just start picking up slices. So it doesn't really matter sort of particularly where you place it, but I try to make sure on mine that the larger shapes were around about the place where I would have an apex basically. So I'm going to leave the slices at that, and then I'm going to get my hexagon shape. Now I only used the small ones and the small gold ones as well. I didn't use the rose gold or the silver ones, so it's up to you. On the set of the ones that I did for my client, I actually just used a variety, so it's up to you really with what colours you want to do. So I'm just going to leave it at that. You want to kind of stick to a sort of minimalist look, like I think that's what kind of looks best with them. And when you're sort of placing the pieces on, you can obviously move them around, and it's quite nice to have sort of these hexagon shapes quite near the moon and everything like that, because obviously it's a bit like having some stars. So I'm now going to cure that in my lamp for 60 seconds. Okay, so then once that's been fully cured, I'm just going to turn it to the side so you can kind of see the slices. So obviously my apex is going to be around this sort of area, but we want to make sure that we have sort of fully covered all of the slices. But it's not going to be too difficult because they're so sort of thin. So I'm just going to put a thicker layer of the clear over the nail. So this is where you'll be building the actual strength of the nail with Build Me Up, especially if it is an extension like mine were. You want to make sure that, you know, you are building the nail up correctly. And obviously I'm using quite a bit of product here because this is a very large nail as well, so you may not need as much product on somebody else's natural nail or a normal extension. And just look down the side of the nail, dragging the product, just making sure that you can't see any sort of corners and stuff sticking out. Just like that. So now I'm going to cure this in my lamp for 60 seconds, but just before I push the 60 seconds button, I'm going to let it automatically go onto the low heat mode, just to make sure that if there is any heat spikes that my client isn't going to feel them. Okay, so then once that's been fully cured, I'm going to get the Magpie Prep and Dehydrate liquid again and just wipe off that tacky layer. So there is a bit of a spike there, just there on the edge of that star, but it's not going to be that problematic because I'm going to use a 180 grit file and I'm just gonna buff over the top. Now these nails probably don't actually need a lot of refining. I would do this obviously if it was a set of extensions, just to make sure. Just like that, and then just grabbing that Prep and Dehydrate liquid again just to wipe off any of the dust. So you can see it's, as I filed, it's just taken off a slight bit of the corner of that star. So if you were doing this on a client's natural nail, I would suggest moving that particular star more into the middle again where the apex should be. So now I'm going to use Magpie's Don't Be Tacky just to finish this nail off. As you can see, you know, it's all been fully encased in there. That star where that sort of spiky bit was is the only bit that's sort of been filed a little bit. Everything else is absolutely perfect still. So I'm going to cure that in my lamp for 60 seconds. And there you have the finished look. So obviously, like I said, I didn't use the Magpie Slices for my nails, but I'm not very impressed with the actual pieces that I did use. I would much have rather have used the Magpie ones because they are so much thinner. The moon that I've got on my nail, I mean, it keeps catching my files when I'm working, and they were very, very bulky. So I think this set looks, you know, almost identical, but it looks a lot better sort of thickness wise and things like that. So you can just see, you know, I've not added a lot of product there. There were quite a few layers, but like I said, that's completely up to you whether you want to do a third layer of buff or you just want to go on with your clear, or if you want to set the pieces into the third layer of buff and then just go over with your clear. That's completely up to you. But obviously because I was doing a long set of extensions on myself, that's why I kind of wanted to do that. Like I said, these pieces are so thin, they're really, really easy to use. I used Princess on my client, and I obviously did do the Build Me Up as well with it, and I did obviously as well add a couple of the hexagons and stuff, and I did that on her natural nails and it was absolutely fine. So yeah, I'm really, really impressed with these, and I really wish I'd waited to do my nails with them rather than the ones that I've got, but I still really like my thumbs, and obviously you've got some similar shapes sort of in there and stuff like that. My nails have now been on for nearly 2 weeks, and there's like no minimal lifting on this, on my right hand, which is obviously my proper working hand, and obviously I've got a young baby and stuff, but my left hand is pretty perfect. Just obviously I think where I keep catching them with the files, or whether they're just bulky, or I don't know. This one especially is where I keep catching my nail with the actual file, so it keeps taking off part of the gold. But like I said, I wouldn't recommend those. These are so much thinner, especially the moons. You know, that it was something that I've wanted to do for ages, but just haven't had the time or whatever. But they're just so thin. You can really see how thin they are, hopefully on camera. As always, thank you to Magpie for sending me these products. I really hope that you liked this demo, guys, on how to do this now, and you can do this with any of the slices. Like I did my client's nails with Princess. You don't have to just use the Galaxy, but obviously it is a pretty cool look that was inspired by NAF Salon. Okay, guys, I'm really sorry if you can hear sort of creaking and stuff in the background of this video. I've got my fan on. We are having an absolute heat wave in the UK, and it is so hot, but my fan is really creaky. It drives me insane when I'm working, so I really hope that you've managed to survive the whole video without being driven insane by this creaking noise. But like I said, I really hope that you like this demo and that you like this video. So the slices are now available online. I'll leave the links down below for you guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.